We've been through the fly, still standing strong. Got some hard nights, but we kept God on. Love through the pain, learn when we grow. Getting quit when it got uncomfortable. We had to heal, had to find our voice. Had to choose peace even when it costs. Not perfect people, but we show up real. Faith over fear, learning how to feel. This is life with the Popes. Real love, real hope. Faith in the middle of the highs and lows. We talk it through, we heal, we grow. This is life with the Popes. 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 This is life with a Pope.
Hey everybody, give me
Real
a second.
love.
We're gonna put the music down so you can hear us. Hello, 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 hello. Somebody said they love the intro, baby.
Welcome to our theme song. Shanice heard it. That's going to have to be right on, right at 7 to hear it. We're going to have to pause and let it wait before we let it play so that people get on. Then they can hear it.
You want to hear it again?
Yeah, play it again.
Here's our new theme
Yes,
song,
our
y'all.
new theme song, guys.
Check it out. Here we go. It's gonna sound good. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
We've been through the fly, still standing strong. Got some hard nights, but we kept God on. Love through the pain, learn when we grow. Getting quit when it got uncomfortable. We had to heal, had to find our voice. Had to choose peace even when it costs. Not perfect people, but we show up real. Faith over fear, learning how to feel. This is life with the Popes. Real love, real hope. Faith in the middle of the highs and lows. We talk it through, we heal, we grow. This is life with the Popes. This is life with the Popes. This is life with the Popes. This is life with the Popes.
Man, that...
We're over here dancing, having a good time. Somebody said it's jamming. Listen, Kerry done made us our own theme song, guys. We getting this whole thing together over here.
This is life with the pose.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. Welcome in. We are Kerry and Rebecca
Hey,
Pope.
hey everybody.
Welcome to Life with the Popes and
Yes.
welcome to
Welcome.
Tuesday night. Guys, before we jump in tonight, just a couple of announcements.
Talk to
You
us.
know that Thrive is here. Thrive Institute and Ministries is coming. We are preparing to launch that. Make sure you get on our newsletter. We don't have a wait list yet for our class on the 21st. We have a free workshop on the 21st that is going to be talking about secure love, moving into secure
Love. Yes.
and so a whole workshop on Saturday the 21st. So get on our newsletter. We'll put that link in there so you're able to sign up. You want to make sure you're on that list. That's where we're going to send all the updates until we send out the registration for the class.
Amen. What else?
Let's see. What else do we have going on? If you are a healer, if you are knowing that there's a calling on your life and you're wanting to turn that into a career, you can become a certified soul therapist through
Yeah.
Healers Academy with me. Make sure you click the links that are available for that as well. And
Yes.
I also have a free class coming up next week.
Say it again. Free.
Free class next week
Amen.
called From Calling to Career.
Okay.
So for those of you who know it's time for you to take yourself seriously when it comes to your healing path and healing journey as a healer, you want to make sure you're in that class as well.
Okay.
Any other announcements?
Sunday at 10 a.m. is Thrive Live. So make sure you join this Sunday with Rebecca. We'll be bringing the word Sunday morning. Co-pastor Rebecca Lynn Pope.
Yay.
She's going to slang you. And yeah. And so Valentine's Day is Saturday.
Yeah.
So happy early Valentine's Day to all of you.
Everybody.
And cuffing season starts back on the 15th.
That part. And our book of the month, if you can click on our picture of the book of the month, is that in there, Kerry? Our attached book?
Yeah.
Right there.
You want to see
If
it?
you can click there, that's our book of the month. So a lot of what we're talking about in our lives for Life of the Popes this month is on this book attached. Really, really great read. You need to get that. It will help you so much to understand your attachment styles. Okay. And so we're in the month of love. So of course, our Life with the Popes this month is all covering love and relationships, particularly as it comes to attachments.
So tonight, we're going to jump into this word. I want you guys to know we see your comments. So if you see us looking off to the right, we're reading. That's all we're doing. But we see you in the middle, but we're reading to our right, which may be your left. But anyway, Rebecca, let's get into this thing.
Topic for tonight, title, Bing, The Danger Zone. Love without emotional safety.
That's deep.
So we're going to kick off tonight with the definition of emotional safety. And I want you guys, we're going to take our time tonight. I want you guys to really hear this, because as I was studying this, I said, I don't know that I've really been emotionally safe very much.
Ooh, that's not good.
Like in life, I don't know how emotionally safe we've truly have felt. Based on this definition, here we go. Emotional safety is the ability to be honest, vulnerable, and fully yourself in a relationship without fear of punishment, ridicule, abandonment, or emotional shutdown.
One more time.
Emotional safety, and this is in friendships, your romantic relationships, your dating, and marriage. Emotional safety is the ability to be honest, vulnerable, and fully yourself in a relationship without fear of punishment, ridicule, abandonment, or emotional shutdown.
So, in other words, probably 99.9% of the people are not emotionally safe.
I mean, I think the relationships that we've had, even friendships, previous marriage, romantic relationships, I think it's more likely that you've been emotionally unsafe than safe.
Yeah.
If we're really honest.
Yeah. Because vulnerability is hard. Because if the person that you're with ever I think I did one time when I do my premarital studies and counselings, I talk about body language and I talk about emotional cues and I talk about the actual words you say. And when a person's going to be vulnerable, they'll start talking, right? But it's your emotional cues or your tone that will determine whether or not they feel safe. Here's an example. Rebecca, I need to share something with you. Sometimes I don't feel like a man.
Yeah. If you get that look.
That's the emotional cues that make me go, well, if you're tripping over that, I'm definitely not about to tell you the other reason or what I may be struggling with.
Facial expressions, body language.
Yeah.
So here's a few more descriptions to help you relate to this, guys. It means you can express thoughts and feelings without walking on eggshells. Emotional safety means disagreements don't threaten the relationship. That's emotional safety. It means your emotions are taken seriously, even when they're inconvenient. It means repair is possible after conflict. So inside of emotional safety, you feel safe to disagree. You can feel safe to even argue and have disagreements. You feel safe enough to express your truest feelings. You're able to express your truest thoughts.
Okay.
Right? Emotional safety is not about never disagreeing. It's about how conflict is handled and how people are treated afterward.
So
that's the definition of emotional safety.
So if that's the definition of emotional safety and we say the danger zone, then speaking from your own experience in life, have you felt safe to be Rebecca and really be vulnerable?
I think that, guys, I'm someone who shows up pretty authentic in my friendships, in my romantic relationships. I'm a pretty authentic person. I do a pretty good job of showing up as me. But what I will say is I've learned from the time I was young that everyone's not a fit for me because of that, right? Everyone won't like you. Everyone isn't going to accept you. When I'm kind of more of an open book type person. I'm just pretty much someone who is very straightforward. What you see is what you get. I talk about what I'm thinking about. I don't tend to filter myself too much. And that's just not for everybody, and especially if people are not used to that level of truth or vulnerability, that can feel, intimidating. It can feel not safe. If you're used to constantly in a survival instinct, someone being honest and vulnerable can make you want to run away, in my experience. And so I think that for me, finding people that I felt would not run away or abandon me or leave me because of my level of honesty and vulnerability and truth seeking and I have a direct style of communication. That was more the issue for me.
Okay. So for me, as a man, most men can't be vulnerable with women because you don't give him the room to be, because you call it a weakness. So he has to, he can't show his emotions. He can't show his feelings. He can't say, I don't feel my best. I'm having a bad day, or I feel weak, because then you'll say, well, I don't need a weak man. I need a strong man. And the reality is men hurt just like you do women, if sometimes not more, because we have more to carry and more to prove. And when you've been hurt and damaged and you say, well, I just want him to show me more love and more emotions. Well, no, because when he shows the emotions, and especially if you're a woman who talks a lot, or you wear your feelings on your shoulders, or like you say, could be on your sleeves, you can say the wrong thing that'll break a man, and he'll say, you know what, I'm out, or I'll just completely shut down. And then you'll say, oh, he couldn't handle me. Yes, he can handle you. You couldn't handle him. Because men don't need you to tell them, I need a real man. I mean, well, hell, if you had a real man, you'd be with him and not me. Okay, let's just keep it real. The reality is men want to express how they feel. Can you give him the freedom and the safe place to do so? Because vulnerability for a man is not the same as vulnerability for a woman. It's not. If I come in and I'm depressed and I'm crying, Rebecca will be like, what's wrong with you? And she might even say, well, I need you to man up. And that's the worst thing.
I would not say.
No. I didn't say you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you said I might say. I don't say that.
I didn't say you did say. I said you might say, because I haven't been that point where I've been so depressed.
Men don't tend to do that.
But if you say man up to a man, he might just man out.
Well, and one of the things though, guys.
And hold on. And men, I need y'all to talk tonight, because women over here thinking I'm just talking just to be talking. No, but some do.
It's true.
But
I think that there's a bigger, broader picture than what we're painting.
Okay.
Because it's not really just about the dynamics that are happening inside of your relationship. Men have been raised from the time they're little boys to be repressed and to not express themselves and to not show the wide range of emotions. Men feel all the same emotions that women feel, but it's not safe or okay for men to feel that way. And before you ever got married, before you ever get in a relationship, from the time you were a little boy, you were told to stop crying, suck it up, rub some dirt on it. Young boys are treated from the time they're young to not be vulnerable. Everything is anti-emotional safety for men. And so then you get in a relationship and your woman wants you to open up, wants you to share, wants you to talk. And I'll say this, Kerry is phenomenal about creating emotional safety for me, but it took a lot of work for Kerry to learn how to be expressive and vulnerable in our relationship, because he'd been hurt so much when he tried to be with the wrong person. Because you can't be vulnerable and authentic and express your truest feelings and thoughts with just anybody. whether you love them or not, which is the topic for tonight.
Mhm.
Just because you love somebody doesn't mean you're emotionally safe with that person.
That's true. I like what Ronald said. He said, I just want to be Clark Kent for a change.
Right. Just be a man. Just be human.
Simple man, glasses, dorky,
Human.
whatever. I have I know someone who can't even be himself in his own house because he's walking on eggshells. If you want to watch TV, if you want to do this, you want to do that. And I'm like, dude, don't you pay the bills? Yeah, I want to keep the peace and I don't like the drama. And I'm going to be honest with you. The dangers are when you say I do, or if you're in a relationship, you're choosing someone who's going to see every side of you or should see every side of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you say, I do, through sickness and health, richer for poor, for better, for worse. I do. And so if I do means I will, but I can't because you close me off or you make me feel like I can't be real. And if the camera moves, it's our Puggy who's doing the
Hardy Pope.
Who's doing the
Get
most.
from over there right now.
You remember Hardy, don't you, everybody?
Sorry,
he was a little
guys.
pug who just moved my camera. Sit down, Bubba. And so it's one of those things where as a man, Rebecca, and she's gotten so much better with it. She's always given me the safe place. But even now, being able to be more vulnerable, being able to share more of my hurts or pains or sometimes fears. How many of you ladies know your man's worst fear? Most of you don't, because he probably hasn't told you. Because if you can't handle the little small things that he may say, and I'm speaking from a man perspective, because women, you don't have a problem being vulnerable with me, do you?
No, I don't. But a lot of women do struggle being.
Okay, so let's talk
vulnerable.
about this. So why do women have a problem with men? Just period. What you think?
I mean, first of all, people don't feel emotionally safe, period. Kerry,
True.
Take you and
True.
I and our marriage and all this work we've done to be where we're at currently, 10 plus years in now.
Mhm.
And let's just set that to the side. The reality is, let's give real perspective.
Okay.
What did our relationships look like before each other?
Well, the Bible said, forgetting all those things which are behind me, and I press towards the mark. So I don't know.
So real talk, guys, real talk.
Baby.
I'll say this. I had a boyfriend for a few years right after my divorce, and he had been in foster care growing up. He had not been deeply, wholly loved for who he is. And he told me point blank, I do not know how to love you the way you're loving me. And the whole relationship was just a struggle. We loved each other. You know, we wanted to make it work. He had never been to therapy, and, you know, and it was one of those things, guys, where it was sad because it was like there was a genuine love for each other, but just could not communicate. No matter what I did, he did not feel emotionally safe because at the end of the day, he had personal issues.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that I wasn't creating a safe space. It wasn't that I wasn't holding that space for him. And I was opening up. I was trying to talk to him, get him to talk to me, try to work through it. And it was just like a wall. Because let's be clear, it takes two. It takes two to create emotional safety. One person can be all in and be trying so hard to do the work to make something work, but it takes two people to make it work. It doesn't matter if you're trying, if they're not, guess what? And it's also not fair with the other partner when they're doing all the work to try to make something work and trying to be real, and they're trying to lean in and they're trying to be vulnerable and honest. And they want to go to therapy and they're really trying. And then the other person's sitting there like, no, I'm good. I don't need that. Or she's saying, you know, no, we don't need anybody in our business. We can figure this out ourselves.
That's a danger zone.
The danger zone. Because there's one of the things that came up in this topic is that love without emotional safety is the danger zone because people stay connected while slowly silencing themselves. Emotional safety is what allows love to breathe, grow, and last. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that it came up with is love can exist without emotional safety. How many of you tonight can in the comments say, I've definitely loved. I've definitely been in love. I've been in a loving relationship. I fell for someone. You were committed. You were in it.
Mm-hmm.
But there still wasn't emotional safety. So love and emotional safety don't equate to each other. You need both.
Well, a lot of reason why there's no emotional safety is because there's a lot of unhealed trauma that had nothing to do with you. It was unhealed trauma from years and years of abuse or years and years of neglect. And then you met someone and felt like, oh, I can love them to health. No, you cannot. You cannot love a sick person to health. They got to get the help that be honest, you're not the professional. You end up being the problem because, to be honest, most people who get hurt in the past situation, they bring it over and punish the person that's new.
Yep.
They don't intentionally mean to do it, but they punish them because they got all this unhealed trauma and emotions going crazy. They feel like, yeah, I want to love you, but I'm scared. Then you do something that reminds me, and they're always on this panic mode.
Yep.
And it's only until you do the work and get the help and really face that stuff, then you can really truly love and feel safe to love and feel safe to be vulnerable. Nothing's worse than unhealed trauma and then trying to mix new love with it.
Because I think a lot of the time, especially if you're someone who loves hard,
Mm-hmm.
you can be trying to love someone that's very difficult to love. You love them, they love you, but it doesn't mean it's easy. This is the mature part of relationships. This is where it requires both people to do their own individual work so that they can show up real in the relationship. This emotional safety equals being real.
Yeah.
Being honest, not faking the front, not just saying the right things because it sounds good, but being honest, being vulnerable, and being real about how you really feel, what's really going on with you, not filtering yourself and censoring yourself because you're afraid of being rejected or abandoned, right? Rachel says, I also had someone who shared my vulnerability with someone else, broke confidence.
That is, so let me say something to everyone. And because it's the week of love, and because we are married, we mostly talk about relationship, but it spans out into family, into friends and coworkers and all of that. But we're talking more or less exclusively now in relationship.
But it applies to friendships.
It applies to friendship and all that. But I'm going to talk about pillow talk real quick. When you have pillow talk, right, it has to be safe. Pillow talk is when you're laying there and you're cuddling and you're talking, you're saying things, and you may have turned the TV off and you want to share. And you may share something that someone shared with you, right? And say, well, baby, listen, we need to pray for such and such because such and such is going on. I just don't say it. I'm sharing it. Because whoever shared it with you was vulnerable to trust you. But it doesn't mean you have pillow talk with your mate about something you're supposed to hold in confidentiality. Because you can share something in a good tense of let's pray, but then that person can go out and let it slip. And so even in pillow talk, you got to be careful the whole confidentiality of someone who's been vulnerable to you, whether it's in a relationship or a friendship or wherever. Because even though I'm a praying person and Rebecca may say, sometimes she got to take that confidentiality because I may look at the person differently. Although I'm a man of God, I may go, what? Ooh.
You got to be able to hold water.
And so now when they come around me, I'm like, oh, shoot. I didn't know you were a thief back in the day and did jail time. They put my wallet up. Versus before, I didn't know you did time, right? Because the moment, let's be honest, the moment you learn something you didn't know, your view of that person can change just like that. And so you have to be careful what is shared to make sure if someone shares with you in confidentiality, the pillow talk is not what you share with your spouse. Because that spouse may have an underlying hate for that person. Now it's ammunition.
Or even just being safe inside of friendships, any relationship. Yeah. Creating emotional safety is holding dear what people say to you and not going and talking about that with other people.
And I hate gossip.
That's emotional safety.
I hate gossip.
So emotional safety is about how you're treated when it's hard. Safety isn't measured in good moments. It's revealed during conflict. Mm-hmm. How emotions are handled matters more than how often they happen. Punishment, withdrawal, or defensiveness erode safety. Repair and accountability build trust.
Read that part about punishment.
Punishment, withdrawal, or defensiveness erodes safety.
So let's talk about punishment. This is a remote control. It controls the television. Whoever holds the control holds the power. In relationships, the person that holds the control holds the punishment, holds all those things you just stated. Because I've seen people say, well, I'll withhold sex from him. I'll see how much he talks then. What else? What's that movie comes to? He says, what did you switch? Punishment, withdrawal. Okay, I got you.
The silent treatment.
The silent treatment. And then you go into the next one?
Defensiveness.
What you mean? Those three things will erode a relationship so badly. And you got to make sure you don't use sex as a control in your marriage. You got to make sure you don't use punishment, your friendship. Well, I'm just not going to hang out with you because I didn't like what you did. Be a mature adult and talk to the person and rectify a problem versus trying to punish someone. Or better yet, withdraw. What ticks me off more than anything is when you go the cold silent treatment on me. And I'm like, oh, so I'm just talking to the air? Rebecca now, let me tell you how Rebecca is. Her silent treatment is necessary because that means she's about to blow up. So she's woo-sawing. But for me, my silent treatment is, it could go for days where I'm good. And she'll say, when I get quiet, what's wrong with you? Because Rebecca knows, for me, I get quiet. I get silent. Not that I'm mad. But
when he's just going through anything, he gets quiet.
I get silent. But she doesn't punish me because I'm silent. She's come to understand what that means. When you understand a situation or the person, that's why you should know your mate. Yeah. You don't take things personally. But some people know their mate and use these things as punishment. So I tell you what, it's been a week since we had sex. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you another week of punishment.
Yeah, manipulation.
Yeah, and now you'll see how you, I bet you won't say that again. But then he or she go out and cheat on you because you're withholding the goods. Now he's a cheater. She's a cheater. Well, he shouldn't have did that. Well, hold on a second, baby. How often are you going to keep punishing somebody and don't expect repercussions for what you do? That's why you don't play games. See, this is grown folks' conversation. Yeah. I'm not saying that person should go and do these things. We're not excusing cheating. But what I'm saying is, don't you contribute to pushing someone out the door, because this withdrawal we're talking about is withdrawing from a relationship, whether it's friendship, marriage, family. Let's be honest. Somebody does something, you say, I tell you what, I just want to go around them.
And listen, we're all guilty of these things.
Yes.
At different points, we're all guilty of this. The things we're talking about tonight, when you have a trauma response, when you get triggered, right? All of us are imperfect. All of us are hurting in different ways. All of us respond to different situations differently. We're talking tonight about goals. These are goals in relationships. The goal is to get healed to the point where you don't act like this anymore. You don't respond the same way you used to respond in certain situations when it gets really hard.
So hold on. I like what Trista said. She said, I learned I wasn't being emotionally honest when saying you work too much. When in reality, my truth was, I feel lonely. I miss you.
Yeah.
And see, that's
a great example, Trista. That's a great example.
Because who used to work all the time?
Me.
And who would be feeling lonely?
Carrie.
So we understand it. Instead of me saying, hey, can you get off the computer? I really miss you. Baby, you work too much.
He slammed the laptop closed. Then we used to get in an argument. And it's like, we've grown. We've grown.
I've endured.
So without, you're so crazy. Without emotional safety, people move into survival mode. It's when people don't feel safe. And let me get this really clear tonight.
Okay.
Guys, people are hurting. Yeah. The likelihood that you are married to someone right now who is hurting in ways that you don't even realize. If there's someone who's been through a lot, they're hiding things. They're sitting on things that you may not know the depth of their pain and their trauma. You could meet someone that you feel like this could be the one, right? And there's trauma and pain. You have no idea what they're going through. Yeah. You have friends. I've learned things about friends years into friendships. And all of a sudden you learn something new about a friend, or something they went through, something deep that's going on. And it's like, how could I not know this about my friend? Because I was sharing, but didn't realize they weren't sharing as deep as I was sharing. There was a lot going on, so much pain.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to hold grace for each other, guys. We can't just all of a sudden set these standards and say, well, we need to create safe emotional spaces for each other. It's going to take work.
And a lot of it.
A lot of work, a lot of therapy, a lot of self-awareness. It's going to take inviting God into the situations. God, show us, help us navigate this. Show me. Start with yourself. You can't just say you want someone else to create emotional safe space for you. You got to start with yourself and say, what am I contributing? What am I guilty of? What do I need to heal?
You know what the best safe thing you can do for a person is just listen. Just listen.
Yeah.
Not to give your 2 cents, not to go become this therapist. One thing Rebecca will do, and when I do it, she's gotten better. She's stopped it immediately. But sometimes when I go say something to her, she'll start psychoanalyzing me. And that pisses me off because I have a therapist, okay?
Right.
You're not my therapist. Don't psychoanalyze me. But Kerry, what it is, Rebecca, because I can't psychoanalyze her. Because the moment I started, there's an attitude or there's this, whatever it may be. But she can say, but Kerry, you know, what it really is.
I can't turn my brain off.
And
I try.
And I go, no, we're not doing that. You're not psychoanalyzing me tonight. Does anybody ever feel like you've been psychoanalyzed and you stop and you shut down?
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah, that doesn't create safe space. Getting analyzed doesn't feel good.
If somebody is sharing with you something about themselves, the worst thing you can do is go, that's right. I've been waiting on you to recognize because you know what? I've been holding my, thank you, Jesus, God, there is a God. Don't do that. Because the person's going to look at you like, really? Because that's some things you've been doing that they haven't addressed. Come on. Somebody say, Lord, have mercy.
Ronald said, have mercy.
That's right.
All right. Without emotional...
And we're not rushing, so don't be rushing.
Without emotional safety, people move into survival mode. That's why I wanted to kind of stop for a second and hold grace for all of us because we are all learning how to come out of survival mode. That's what we're talking about tonight. There's love, and then there's love with emotional safety, which is the opposite of survival mode. So... without emotional safety, people move into survival mode. Silence, people-pleasing, control, and withdrawal are survival responses.
Guilty.
These behaviors protect the relationship, but cost the individual.
Yep.
Survival replaces intimacy when safety is missing.
Ooh.
Over time, unspoken pain turns into resentment.
Ouch.
Resentment.
We call that nice nasty. We call that, what's the other word you always said? Passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It says when safety is missing, people protect themselves, not the relationship.
Oh.
So it's like you each go to your individual corner and you're defending and having to protect. Self-preservation is what it's called, guys, when you're not emotionally safe. Tico says, well.
Tico, I'm with you, guy. I heard that in E flat. Well, because survival mode is when the relationship is 50-50 good, 50-50 bad, kind of teetering, but you have checked out. Some people are just married on paper. Yeah. And they just checked out and they're in survival mode, just trying to get through another year. They're saying happy anniversary, but was it really a happy anniversary? Was the friendship a happy friendship? In other words, survival mode. I thought when you was talking, I remember my car. When I was driving my car one time and it was running really good. And then all of a sudden a light came on and it went into survival mode. And it stopped running at optimal capacity. I limped home. We call it limping home. And the car barely made it home. It went from being 85 to 25, barely moving, because it went into a mode which meant get this car to the shop. There's a problem. Many of you are in survival mode, but have yet to take your car, which is your relationship, to the shop, which is therapy. And you're in survival mode. You're cooking meals, but you're just going through the motion. You're having sex because it's the thing to do. It's Wednesday. You're going to work because you're supposed to, but there's no joy in the relationship because, you were told, well, I got to stay married. My mama stayed married. My daddy stayed married. I saw all this stuff. And you're staying in a situation. And there's something that, with my mind as a preacher, and I said before, when we say to death do us part, right? We say death in our minds when we take the vows as death in natural. But what happens when you lose yourself and you've died being the person that you are? The relationship has killed you.
Yeah.
Death has done us part. Now we're in survival mode.
Yeah.
And that last thing you said was, it becomes resentment.
Yeah.
We've been there before where you resent 10 years later, 2 years later, 5. Instead of addressing it, now you're mad at something that you did. You resent that you even got with the person. You met this individual or you became friends with somebody and you now resent ever giving them your phone number, ever getting to know them.
Yeah.
But the resentment is really inside of you.
Yeah.
You're mad at yourself because you didn't act when you should have. You let it keep festering and going. And here we are years later and now it's blown up and you feel like, I can't get that time back.
Yeah.
And that's where Rebecca and I, we had to do some work, guys. Listen, we said before, we limped across some years of marriage. We limped, but we did the work. We were committed that the love made us both go in our own corners and get our therapist and work it out and own our ish. It's easy to say, Rebecca's the problem versus, no, Kerry, it's really you.
Yeah. One of the things that we really advocate for, and I say this all the time, everybody needs therapy.
Everybody.
If you have found yourself saying, I don't need therapy, I'm good, you are the problem. Everybody has pain. Everybody has trauma. Mm-hmm. Everybody has issues. No matter how much you minimize it, excuse it. I mean, well, Rebecca, nothing so super bad happened to me. I mean, I wasn't abused. I wasn't neglected. I wasn't. No, but there's all types of big T trauma, little T trauma, and it all has taken a toll. Everybody needs therapy. Yeah. I know some people that I know personally, and they're like, I don't need therapy, I'm good. But yes, still struggling with dating, still struggling with why? Don't want to listen, stubborn, and don't want to humble themselves enough to admit, I need some help. I need some help.
Think of it like this, and I had to learn this early. All of us have cars, right? You buy this car, it's got brand new tires, it's got great engine, it's got the oil, the transmission. You look good driving. Keep driving that car. The tire is going to wear out. The oil is going to get old. You have to take it in for a oil change or new tires. You have to do maintenance. Because if you don't do maintenance, the car is just going to break down. Same in a relationship. Same in friendship. Same in love. You got to go to therapy as a maintenance. We call it being proactive instead of, oh God, reactive. Mm-hmm. You need to have therapists just to check in to make sure you're okay. Make sure you're okay, and then go together in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Most of us never go to therapy until we are reactive. We're reacting to something that happened, and we're trying to fix it because the light been on. Someone made a statement over here that says, I think Cheryl said it. Find it for me real quick. Yes, it says something about, do people give you warning signs?
Yeah, I was about to answer that question.
When that light comes on in a car, how many of you driving around right now with a light on in your car? It's been on so long that it's just part of your dash. Yeah. That light means something's wrong. People show you with signs or flags something's wrong, right. But most time they're so fine. They treat me so good. They take me to Red Lobster. Remember Red Lobster?
The biscuit.
But the check engine light is on in the relationship when they were not where they said they were going to be, or maybe they bugged out on something too soon. What you got?
So some of the signs that someone is unsafe, they're emotionally unsafe, is when you feel your emotions are minimized or not valid or invalidated. Gaslighting is when someone's they turn it on you, always turning the tables on you. You find yourself doing things in the relationship that you don't want to do, but you're people pleasing, right? These are all responses to being emotionally unsafe. You feel responsible for their emotions. You feel anxious about upsetting them. Their emotional state controls the environment, right? We can go on and on. There's so many signs when there's emotional unsafety in a relationship. But I'd say the number one sign is when you just feel like you can't talk to someone. When you just feel like if you try to express anything about how you feel, what you think, it's always an argument. It's always pushback. There's always blame. It's always contentious, that you're not able to truly be friends.
I think the problem, to piggyback on that, is when you can't be yourself. When you have to change who you are to be accepted by someone, that is a flag all day long. If I can't be me, I remember when Rebecca stated she never wanted to marry a pastor. Then she met a pastor. And I had to be me because she thought I was going to be so saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, speaking in tongues, even while we having sex. No. I'm crazy. I like to have fun. I like to dance.
That's the only way we ended up married, because he wasn't all stuck up and tight and I was like, I can't do it.
But I was able. But I'm saying that to say this: had she expected me to be, God bless you,
all buttoned up,
then I could not be me.
Right.
And so I'll be sneaking to be me. And some of you say, well, why is he sneaking? Why is she sneaking? Have you given them the room to be authentic?
Or, baby, it's not even about always the other person.
No. But listen.
Seriously.
Let me finish, because I say yes, because if a person tries to be themselves and you don't give them the room to, then what?
No.
So give me your take on it then.
There are people who just can't be themselves. I don't care how much safe space you create, because of all their pain and trauma and rejection and abandonment and childhood issues. Yeah. So literally, guys, there are some people that it doesn't matter. How many of you have loved somebody so much and you have literally slayed yourself? You have literally lost yourself in the relationship, trying to create safe space, trying to love them. And no matter what you did, it was never enough.
That's the problem.
You couldn't heal this person.
That's the problem.
Right? And one of the other signs that you're emotionally unsafe is that you're the one always trying to fix things. You're the one always trying to repair things.
That's the problem.
It's one-sided.
That's the problem. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I make the statement. Because if I can't be me, because being me may be me having to straighten you out.
Yeah, definitely.
But I can't do it because I'm walking on eggshells that you're going to leave me. You're going to this. So at the end of the day, you got to feel safe being even with correction. You got to feel safe enough to correct someone. Or you're going to, if Rebecca keeps saying something or doing something that pisses me off, but I don't want to hurt her because I'm in one of these modes, that's a danger zone because I'm going to blow up.
Yeah. But even that takes so much therapy. Being able to get enough self-confidence to express yourself. Somebody could be creating the right environment, guys. But if you don't have enough self-confidence, self-worth, if your insecurities are really high, if life has beaten you down, it doesn't even matter that you're finally with someone doing all the right things and loving you. You still got all the baggage and personal stuff going on, and it doesn't even matter. Because what I'm trying to express, baby.
What you trying to express, baby?
Is it's not always about the other person.
Of course not.
Emotional safety starts with you feeling safe with yourself.
That's what I just said.
It starts with you loving yourself. It starts with you taking a hard look at you, doing what it takes for you to stop abandoning yourself, rejecting yourself.
That's right.
It starts with you.
Because Rebecca didn't realize he had a great man until she started realizing.
You know what?
That's why I said you was on it.
I cannot. Okay. We're going back to our teaching points.
We've been on our teaching points.
Hold on.
Let me tell you while she's looking for that, what we're ultimately saying is get a therapist.
Everybody.
And do the work starting tomorrow.
Everybody.
Not your pastor, not your cousin, not Bobo, but get a licensed therapist that you can be honest and true with, and don't run when you feel scared. When you go to therapy and
it's not 2 or 3 sessions.
Oh,
it's like ongoing.
No, hold on. How many years have we been in therapy? And let me say this to those of you who think therapy is for crazy folks. Well, call me crazy because it works. Many of you will go crazy if you don't get therapy. Okay.
Here's another good point.
What's another good point?
You need your own individual therapist for the couples and the married people tonight. And you're like, oh, we need couples therapy. That does not equate to individual therapy. The stuff you work on in marriage therapy and couples counseling is totally different than your individual issues that you need to be working on. Because at the end of the day, I've sat in on some of Kerry's couples counseling, and these couples, I was in there like, this is a hot ass mess. These people were driving me crazy. And I'm sitting in there like, oh, and it gets so complicated because they're blaming each other and they're talking at each other. And I'm sitting there just like, well, she's got this going on and he's got that going on. But it's so much easier to just blame each other. You both need therapy. Individually. Kerry and I each have our individual therapists, and then we have couples counseling on top of that. Guys, that's a lot of work.
And then Jesus.
And God, because then on top of that, you got to invite in God and the grace of God.
That's right.
Forgiveness and healing, because therapy alone isn't going to get it done.
Because what therapy will do, as we keep going, when you go to therapy individually, most times, and I used to do this when I talk to people, because what I did 4 sessions, right? When I do my sessions, I say, number 1 session is both you coming together, because I need to find out what's your problem. It don't take long to find out, does it?
No.
And then the second week, I meet with her, I meet with him. She met one of the others. And then that 4th week, we got to the solution. Y'all need more sessions. Here you go. This is what we're going to work on. Why is this important? Because most times it takes about 3 months before the real you shows up at therapy. I'm just going to keep it real. The real you will show up around that 3rd time because your therapists now have developed a profile of who you are. And now they get really past all the BS and all the stuff you've been talking about and blaming and my mama this and my daddy this and my cousin this and she did. And now that he's going to say, or she's going to say, let's talk about you, and start to hit. What I was going to say was this. When you start in therapy feeling scared, or they tap on something that you like you have this out of body experience, stay there. That means now we're talking to the real you. The real person that has hidden behind all the traumatic things, that little boy, that little girl. That's what you got. Now we're going to deal with. Because what I've learned, the danger zones are these things. You got to feel safe to be you.
And if you sit in therapy and you just brushing around talking about every other little thing going on in your life, and you're not talking about the real true trauma, you're not talking about what happened to you when you were 8, you're not talking about what happened when you were 14, you're not talking about your parents and the toxic household you were raised in, you're just talking about whatever, but that's not the real stuff. And guess what? You can be going to therapy for years doing that and not get any results.
Yeah.
Just saying, oh, I have a therapist, oh, I'm doing the work. Are you really though?
And the reason, let me say this and we get to your last points. The reason why singles therapy is better than couples is, let's say you got an issue and both of you go to couple counseling. And let's say Rebecca's mad at Kerry. That whole hour session is going to be how I pissed her off, what I'm not, how we got here, what she did.
We are speaking from experience.
And we're speaking from experience. And the therapist said, Kerry, what do you have to say? I just go, well, you know that's what I said. And you spend that hour, however much you pay, getting beat up on, or hearing the same story you've heard for 25 times. And so you need to have your own therapist so your therapist can look at you, hear you, and then say, but wait a minute.
Yeah.
Without me over here going, because I'm going to tell you something. When you go to therapy and get beat up, you don't want to share your issues with the other person. You don't want to share your issues about the other person with the therapist because you just got finished getting beat up, knowing that if you say something else, round 2, ding, That's why individuals, and let me be honest with you, you need it, and especially if you've been in a strict home, strict religion, whether you've been in a strict environment where you may have been molested, raped, abused, in a failed marriage, whatever it may be, these things add up. And it may seem minute or small, but the Bible says it's the little foxes that destroys the vine. I mean, you get enough of those little bad boys together, it'll tear you down.
Or you've just minimized them in your mind. They really are a big deal.
They're big deals.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Nadine had a question. How can you tell that you're rejecting yourself? Will you give me an example? Negative self-talk, beating yourself up constantly, criticizing yourself, Nadine.
Yeah.
Right.
Saying you don't deserve to be happy. Maybe I got what I deserve.
Where you abandon yourself. You don't believe in yourself. You don't treat yourself with kindness. You don't build yourself up. Right. You talk to yourself negatively. That negative self-talk and stinking thinking. That's self-rejection.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. Emotional safety can be built gently and intentionally. Safety grows through consistency, not pressure. Honest communication without blame creates space. Regulation matters more than intensity. And small repairs build long-term trust.
Small repairs.
You don't force safety, you cultivate it. You cultivate it by softening your heart, slowing down, showing love and kindness to each other, to your friends, to whoever it is you're creating emotional safety with. It's about creating that soft, safe space to be honest and real.
Yeah. One of the things Rebecca and I do that really helps us is when we talk, the other person listens, and they will say when we finish, "Thanks for sharing."
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how that word "thanks for sharing" goes.
Or we also will say at times when we need to discuss something hard that I need to talk to my friend.
Yeah. That means you've been having your butt handed to you, so just buckle up. But,
No,
I'm being sarcastic.
Don't be funny because they think you're being for real, Kerry. You know what? He ain't being for real.
No, but seriously, we say that. But no, seriously.
That's what I need. I just need my friend.
Yeah.
I don't because Kerry is a solver. Men oftentimes are just such problem solvers. They just want to, you go and want to just talk about something. They're trying to create solutions and they're not listening because they're so busy trying to solve it. And it's like, sometimes I just need them to listen
and I've gotten
just,
much better.
Be there for me.
Or
but that's when I say I need to talk to my friend. So he'll just put on his listening ears.
Yep. And those are key words, guys. That's important. Those are communication words to say, I need my friend. So that means Kerry, listen and just hold her and give a safe space. Yeah. And I do the same. I said, I need to share something with you. I just need you to listen. I just want to say something to you or share something with you. And then, let me say this too. Know when to say when. If somebody just got home from a long day and they're exhausted and they're tired and they're kind of checked out and they just want to come in and have a cold glass of whatever it may be and just sit in the chair and woosah, that's not the time to go, we need to talk. No, baby. You got to know when to say when.
Timing is important.
Yes.
Timing is important. Trista says, for you two, is your marriage off limits in individual therapy, save for couples therapy? Is there nothing off limits? Oh, nothing is off limits with your therapist. But Dr. Pam, here's a question. Trista, listen, Dr. Pam is my therapist. I've interviewed her on my channel before, guys. I talk to Dr. Pam about everything.
I was going to ask the question, though. So go back to her, Trista. So when you say off
limits. Is anything off limits when you're talking with your therapist?
No.
You got to be able to talk about whatever you need to talk about.
But let me say this. But that's why I asked the question. You got to feel safe with your therapist for there to be no limits. Yeah. Let me emphasize that. Just because they are therapists doesn't mean you feel safe with them. I've had therapists and I have a therapist, Dr. Massey, who that's my brother from another mother. I can be Kerry. I can say what I need to say, and he's not judging me. I'm not apostle. I'm not Kerry, this musician. I'm just Kerry Pope, who's here to get help. So why did I know he was about to get?
Because he was just, babe, he just, okay, sit down. Sit still, Hardy. Just sit still, baby. We were almost done. Okay, shh.
If you go back and watch a video 4 years ago when we first got Hardy, he is no different than what he is now. He's just bigger.
Listen. Say hi. Just say hi. Okay. Never mind. Get down. You ain't acting right. Okay. So yeah, nothing's off limits. But when I talk about my therapist, I've been with Dr. Pam for years. Carrie's been with Dr. Massey for years. Like it's your relationship with your therapist is no different than any other relationship. It's built over time.
Yes.
And so our advice about therapists is that if you get a therapist and the vibe isn't right, you don't feel safe, you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel like they're listening to you, don't even keep booking.
Nope.
Find another one, and you keep looking for one until you do feel.
And just because that therapist was good for your friend doesn't mean that therapist is a good fit for you. You got to know where you feel comfortable and able to express your truth. I mean, because at the end of the day, we're getting to the things that really are secret and quiet that therapy is going to be able to pull it out and make you feel comfortable in sharing. And watch this, even tell you why you feel that way, how you got there. Yeah. And let me tell you something, Dr. Massey has helped me tremendously as a man. And I'm just, when you go to a doctor to get a checkup, you don't know what's wrong with you. You trust the doctor. But if you go in there and that doctor tell you something crazy and you don't feel safe with the doctor, you find another doctor. It's the same with therapy. You got to feel comfortable with that person. Yeah. You have to. All right, but any other questions, guys?
Taylor said, just completed my therapy form. So happy. Congratulations, Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what's up. What I was going to say is when I met Kerry, he'd only been divorced a couple years. And one of the things that impressed me about him, even from early on, is that Kerry was willing to do the work. Yeah. Anything I brought back to him and said, this, we need to work on this, or this, I see this, right? It's like he's all, and God, ladies, listen to me. Nobody's perfect.
Nope.
Fellas, nobody's perfect. We all need therapy. We all need help. But the number one green flag that I absolutely love in someone is the willingness to do the work, the willingness to dig in and be curious enough about themselves and not feel the humility to be willing to work on yourself. And that was one of the things that I knew would carry us through. When I saw that in Kerry early on in dating, I said, that is an amazing quality, because if somebody's willing to work on themselves and you're willing to work on yourselves, there's really not a whole lot you can't accomplish in the relationship, because you're both willing to do what it takes to make it work. So that's really crucial. Let me see real quick. Ronald, why do we have so few Black therapists? There are a lot of Black therapists, but it's about connecting into the right networks, Ronald.
Yeah.
Depending on your insurance, right? There's a lot of them. Yeah, Cheryl just said there's a lot of Black therapists. Yeah. It's about just, really doing your research and finding them. Carrie and I, both of our therapists are Black, and they're absolutely phenomenal.
Nothing wrong with white therapists or Hispanic therapists.
Anybody. But yeah, there are.
You got to be what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, there are lots of Black therapists that are absolutely phenomenal. Okay, any other questions tonight? We're wrapping up, guys. Anything about emotional safety? Any questions? Guys, what we're teaching on this month is deep. Yeah. This isn't superficial stuff. This is the nitty gritty. It is the absolute crucial stuff that is absolutely essential for marriages, relationships, friendships to thrive. Yeah. It really does take a lot of work. It's not just organic. Yeah. Right. And I think that that's one of the downfalls in relationships is we think all of this should just be so easy and so natural. Why? Oh, he's not the one. She's not the one, because you're having these struggles. And in reality, you're going to have those struggles with everybody. Every single person has got issues and pain that is going to have to be worked through, that you're going to have to hold space for.
That part. So,
okay. Any other questions tonight?
So we're not back next week. Is that correct? For what?
We're back next week.
Oh, we're back next week.
Yeah, we're back next Tuesday, the 21st. We're gonna get the course, the workshop sign up page out this week for the 21st for the workshop.
But we're not back next Tuesday.
Yes, we are.
Are we?
Yes. We're back. You'll be able to hear our theme song again.
Because we're gonna go out on it. Anything else?
Any other questions? Kerry, pray. Pray for everybody when it comes to this stuff.
Do it, Jesus. Pray. Father, we thank you. We thank you, God, for tonight. We know that this is a very serious subject, that we must do an inward check and be honest with ourselves and be willing to do the work, knowing that you are guiding us and leading us to healing. Father, let us recognize the danger zones and find safe places in you, in therapy, in one another. Bless us, we pray. Keep us as we go our separate ways until we meet again. Amen.
Amen. All right, we love you guys. Here's our theme song one more time. We're so excited because we love it. Love you guys.
You to fly, still standing strong. Got some hard nights, but we kept got on. Love to pay, earn when we grow. Getting quit when it got uncomfortable. We had to heal, had to find our voice. Had to choose peace even when it costs. Not perfect people, but we show up real. Faith over fear, learning how to feel. This is life with the Popes. Real love, real hope. Faith in the middle of the highs and lows. We talk it through, we heal, we grow. This is life with the Popes. This is life with the